Welcome back, beautiful people. So today we are going to talk about emotional authority. Your emotional authority is at the very top of the hierarchy. Like I said, it's the strongest energy. So let's get into it. So those with defined emotional centers will have an emotional authority. Okay, so you can be a projector, a manifester, a manifesting generator, or you can be a generator. And if you have your emotional solar plexus activated or defined, that means that you have an emotional authority. Okay, so with an emotional authority, you have really high highs and then really low lows. So you experience these waves, right? And the way that you experience that wave is going to be different depending on your wave type, which we'll get into in a moment, okay? So an emotional authority, with that authority, what you are meant to do is ride out your emotional waves and feel into your decisions at each point of that wave before making an actual decision. So we'll also get into that in a moment. So with an emotional authority, you may notice that you make decisions when you're in your really high, right? And you're like, yes, I can do anything. I'm a bad bitch. I'm amazing. Da 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 da. Right? You're in this very high, and you make these snap decisions based off of how you feel in that high. And then you reach this low, right? This melancholic, maybe sad, maybe depressive state, right? So they're very different states, very high, very excited about life, like pumped up, happy, joyful, all the things, right? And then in that low, melancholic, undesired to do anything, right? So when you make that decision from that high and then you reach that low, right? What happens is you regret committing to those things, right? You're like, why the heck did I do this? This is not what I actually want to do. I have no desire to do any of these things, right? So it's important that we make our decisions from a place of emotional neutrality. So we'll get into that in a moment. So what that looks like is you have these waves, right? You have this highs, these lows. And I do want to say that you can also make these decisions from these lows where you're missing out on things because you're in this low and then you reach this high and then you're like, I really wanted to do that. So it can go both ways, okay? So riding out that wave is essentially how you use your authority. What this looks like is you are going to feel out a decision. So say my big decision is, do I want to move to New York? Okay, this is just an example. I don't actually want to move to New York. It scares the crap out of me. It's too busy. So big decision. Do I want to move to New York? Right? So what you're going to do is you're going to, as soon as that decision comes into your reality, you're going to feel it out through your full wave. Okay. So you're going to feel it out at the high at every point. So high and low, right? So when you have that decision come in, you're going to feel it out at every single point in your wave, right? So it's going to go do, right? And then once you reach a place of emotional neutrality, then you can make that decision. So once you finish that wave, you now know how that decision makes you feel at every single point in that wave, right? So that means that you know how it's going to make you feel in the future throughout your waves, right? And then that's when you make that decision. Not from your high, not from your low, but from a place of emotional neutrality where you've already felt how that decision will impact you and your emotions, okay? So there's 3 different wave types in human design. So the first is the individual wave. This is known as the most dramatic wave, okay? So and dramatic maybe isn't the best term, most intense wave, I guess I could say, okay? So this is channel 39 and 55 and channel 22 and 12. So what that means is if you have your channel 22 and 12 connected, so your heart, your throat to your solar plexus, then you will have an individual wave, okay? If you have 39 and 55 both activated, so both of those gates activated from your root and your solar plexus, then you will also have an individual wave. So with this individual wave, you have a consistent access to full range of human emotions. So you may feel a little bit more like this, right? A little bit more like this, right? And you experience a lot of emotional depth, right? And that's mainly because if you have that 12 and 22 coming up, you will experience very, very emotional, like a lot of emotional depth. And you may struggle with those ups and those downs. Some people feel a bit bipolar. You're not bipolar. This is just really normal. This is just how your energy works. Okay. So that's the individual wave. Then there's the collective wave, okay? So the collective wave happens when you have your gate 41 and 30 activated. So 41 in your root and 30 in your solar plexus activated, okay? So both of those creating a channel here. Or you have 36 and 35 activated. So 35 in your throat and 36 in your solar plexus. So what this wave looks like is spikes. So you have a slow build up, slow, and then crash. And that's what this wave looks like. This crash may tend to come out of nowhere. And that's because of that collective wave. So most times you'll operate from from desires to do things. And then if those desires aren't met, that's where that crash comes in, okay? And then there's one more wave. So there's tribal wave. So this is when you have 19 and 49 activated. So solar plexus 19, root 49, or sorry, root 19, solar plexus 49, okay? If you have 59 and 6 activated, so your sacral 59, okay? 6 in your solar plexus activated. Or if you have 37 and 40 activated. So 37 in your solar plexus and 40 activated in your heart, okay? So what this means is you're very much impacted by relationships around you, so by your tribe. And essentially what I'm saying is your emotional energy is very impacted, right? You're very, very sensitive to what's happening in your tribe, in your community. So if someone's having like troubles with another person, you're going to be really impacted by that, okay? And that's because you have this tribal wave. So again, also anything that involves the survival of your tribe or your community, you will also feel very impacted by that as well, very sensitive to that. However, it is one of the mildest waves out of the 3 waves, okay? So a final points on your emotional authority. Again, feel out the decision throughout your emotional wave, right? So when someone asks you to make a decision or when you need to make a decision, right? Ask for time. Say, can I have some time to get back to you on that, right? Ideally, that would be like a week. I don't know how long your emotional wave is, whoever you are, right? But ideally, that would be a week. Some people's emotional waves happen in 2 days. Sometimes they happen in a week. Sometimes they happen in 2 weeks, right? So you know yourself better than I do. So ask for that time because you know where that wave happens, right? And how long it normally rolls out for. Again, feel into that wave, right? Feel into that wave. Feel that decision at every single point in that wave, right? And then once you reach a place of emotional neutrality, make the decision, okay? Some other final notes, be patient with yourself, and show yourself grace, right? Show yourself grace. It's okay if you make these decisions from this high. Like that's totally normal, right? And it's okay if you feel like you're up and then you're down and then you're all freaking around, right? That's again also normal. That's how your energy works, okay? Second, you are also, so being in the low, I know it's not the most exciting place to be, but this is where you are most creative, okay? This is where your ideas come. This is where your creativity and projects, like all those things kind of like start bubbling up, right? So if you're in your low, go and do something like play outside, cook, like do something that like really like sparks your creativity, right? Or like if you're like interested in doing a project, like start brainstorming for that project, that kind of stuff. Do that in your low because that's when you're most creative. And that's where you'll come up with your best ideas. Okay. So that is emotional authority. Thank you so much. And I will see you for the next video, which will be sacral authority. All right. I'll see you soon. Thank you.